Hello guys, welcome to the Setting Up Godot and Hackatime at GitHub crash course. So the first thing that you want to do, you go to hackatime.hackclub.com and sign in with Hack Club Slack. Allow everything that they need. After you're logged in to Hackatime, go to Settings and you will see that there's a button for Setup Time Tracking. But if it's your first time logging into Hackatime, I think it will bring you directly here. And it will give you a few different options for setup. So if you're on Mac or Linux, you should look at this text section over here and copy it. If you're on Windows, there'll be a different section for you, so you have to copy that. And then if you're on Mac, go to Terminal. If you're on Windows, open PowerShell. So here I'm going to go to Terminal, and I will paste it in, and press Enter, and that's all you have to do. And as long as it says success, you've connected Hackatime to your computer. Now that Hackatime is done, let's set up Godot. So go to godotengine.org, choose Download Latest, and select the first Godot engine download. So don't choose the .NET one unless you really know what you're doing. So just choose the regular Godot engine, click it to download, and once you have it downloaded, open it up. I'm going to create a new project. I'll call this my Shiba game. For Shiba, you'll want to choose Compatibility Renderer because this exports well to the web platform, so that when you're developing your game on your computer, it will look the same as if when you export it for the web. You can put it in a different folder. I'll just put it on my desktop and click Create. Once you're in the game, go to the asset library on top and search for Godot Super Hackatime. It should be this one with this icon, so you just click on it and choose Download. It's going to give you some errors. You can ignore all the errors and choose Install. Yay! One more thing you have to do is go to project settings. Under plugins, you have to click this to enable it. Now it should show like 0 hours, 0 minutes at the bottom. I think on different platforms it might take a while for this to show up, but if you work on your game for a while, it will update it on the Hackatime website eventually, and you'll see it appear on the front page. Now, let's figure out what Git is, because we need to set up Git in order to upload the source code for the game. And what Git does is that it's basically a version control system, which means that every time you work on your game for a little bit, you can upload it to GitHub, and then we can see the different changes that you've made to your game over time, and we can also see the current code that you have on GitHub. If you're on Unix, which is like macOS or Linux, Git is already installed on your machine, so congrats. If you're not on Unix, if you're on Windows, you'll need to install it. There are different ways of installing it, like any of these would work. Once you install it, it will also give you instructions for setting up your Git login. So you will have to go to github.com and create an account here. Then remember where you save your Godot file. Go to that folder and open it in Terminal so that we can connect it to Git. What you have to do first is to create a new repository on GitHub. So a repository is like one folder where your source code lives for one project. And I will call this Test Shiba Game. You have to make your repository public so that we can see your code. And then you can just ignore all of these and create a new repository. It gives you all the information here. So the first thing you have to do is in the Godot, you have to type git init, which will turn this folder into a Git folder so that you can start tracking your changes. Git add dot, which would add all of the folders in to be tracked. You can type git commit -m to write a message and it says my first commit. Once you press enter, it's going to show you a bunch of stuff, but this just means that it's tracked that you added all of these files in your first commit. And then remote add origin is to connect your local folder to the one on GitHub. So you can just copy this line, paste it into your terminal and press enter. Then making a branch called main is just saying this is one path of the code. You can, in the future, you can create different branches if you feel like you want to work on one feature of the game and then combine it back in. But mostly for Godot, you can just work on one branch. So you just have to write this once and don't care about it again. And then finally, the last line is git push, which means that it will upload your local changes to your GitHub repo. So after I type git push, it will upload it for a while. And then when I come to the GitHub repo and reload, all my code is here. Every hour or so, you work on your game for about an hour, then go into your terminal, which is like under the Git one. You can type git add dot to add all the changes, and then git commit with a message saying like I added a player or something like that, and then git push, which will update your commit into the Git repo. So this is basically saying every hour or so, make a version of the current code and put it on the repository so that in the future you can see all the different changes that you've made. You can even do it more frequently than an hour. So say if you imported a player for 20 minutes, you can just git commit and push every 20 minutes. This is kind of it for the Godot and Hackatime and Git tutorial. Please feel free to ask me if you have any questions. Looking forward to playing your Shiba games.